Please raise your hands, those of you who is excited about future. Wow. Now please raise hands, those of you who is scared of future. Now many. Now raise your hands, those who are pretending they are not scared of future. Okay, thank you. We have honest pretenders here. I am a mid-age guy, and besides running, swimming, and all this jazz, as many others, I'm experiencing mid-age crisis. And that crisis recently got to another level AI. AI is here, AI is there, and all this AIization brought a lot of questions that are popping up out of sudden. And maybe that's also because of this information era and information floating all day long. Most of those questions are about the future. And there was a question that really caught me and really surprised me and scared me. It was bright, regular Armenian morning, and I was standing in my kitchen and making my regular Armenian coffee. And out of the sudden, I had this question. What if I am AI? What if we are all AI? Wow, that was surprising to me. And I started thinking about it. But further on, I ignored the content of the question. And I started thinking more about the question itself. What is question? Where did it come from? What is happening in our brain that we start generating questions? Questioning. We are speaking about this all day long. And I was thinking about that, and at some point, question about question and question about future met together, and I had this realization. The future that I'm very concerned about is all about the question. Now let's stay with me. So all the human development and evolution started with the question. We ask questions. What is this? Who is this? Why is this happening? Who am I? Is this dangerous? Is this eatable? Is this safe space or not? And the development and evolution brought us to more sophisticated questions, and it brought us to our beloved question. What is the future? What will be in the future, and what will it be looking like? Questions give birth to another questions. You've heard about that. And here we cannot hold ourselves from citing Socrates. Knowledge creates lack of knowledge. And what is knowledge if not the answered question? So question is a driving force of evolution. Question is a driving force of our lives. And from the very first day that we started asking the very first question, that was another question along with it. To what or to who we can, and we will be able to refer our questions in the future. Let me take you through some story, some history. Shamans, sages, council of elders in ancient Greece, those were all the ones that we were referring our questions to. And further on, kings, queens, pharaohs, they had this unique privilege to answer to our questions. And at that point, that was a very strong attribute of their power. But the evolution is going on, the development is going on, and that was not definitely enough for us. And at some point, evolution and development brought us to the point where we went far from other humans, where we humans went far from other humans. And what happened? we started searching for specific spaces, specific places and tools where we could refer our questions to. One of the brightest examples for such a space, such a tool is indeed Google. And you may call it search, but I call it a question because any search and any time, it starts with a question. And while we're sitting here, and I hope you are enjoying my talk, the evolution keeps on going, and our brain keeps on generating questions and new questions and new questions. And guess what? We have already invented a new space for asking questions. And this presentation wouldn't be complete if we didn't touch AI topic in its depths. Yes, you got where I'm taking you. AI is our new space where we ask questions. AI is our new tool that answers our questions. AI is shaman, sage, council of elder, and at some point, and in some interpretations, AI is also a new religion. Why is it so? Religion came to the humanity to answer the existing questions and bringing in also some new questions. The same as AI. AI is a tool for answering questions. And what is the most important thing among these two is the belief that we have towards both of them. And without going deep into this topic, I just encourage you to go and explore yourself. It's a really big philosophy right now going on around AI, and this is one of the interpretations. Let's move forward and realize how powerful AI is. AI is a very powerful tool. It gives answers to approximately any question, and AI is doing our work. AI at some point will replace us in some spheres. And in the loop of this logic, there is another question rising. Is AI going to make us dumb? Will we lose our thinking capability? Will we lose our learning capability? Some skeptical minds, with some skeptical researchers behind, they state that the more we're jumping into questioning mode, the stupider we are. Well, I beg to differ. I don't buy this because I strongly believe in another statement, which is the more questions our brain generates, the more trained it becomes. And let me tell you why. Questioning is proved to be one of the most comprehensive and sophisticated brain operations. In order to ask a simple one question, our brain needs to do at least three things. First, our brain needs to understand the situation, analyze the new information, analyze objects, events. Second, it needs to compare this new information against the information it already has and understand the gaps. And third, and the most important thing that our brain does is formulating the question through our neurolinguistics capabilities. Does this look simple or easy to you? I don't think so. So, in order to move a little bit forward with this, I want to pay your attention to the research. There are a lot of researches going on around this questioning capability because it is one of the main capabilities that we have. And there was a research back in the 90s that found that even the most language-adept apes, the closest to human beings, they do not have questioning capability. In simple words, they cannot ask questions. And what is the most important here is that they can use sign language, and still they cannot ask a question. This logically brings us to the point where we realize that questioning is a unique human capability. And as far as we're clear with the new space of questioning, which is AI, we need to cover another layer of this questioning story. And to do so, I need to bring very simple terms, right or wrong. So the questions that we are asking, are they right or wrong? Have you ever thought about the following saying? So the right question already has the answer. Have you ever heard about this? Have you ever thought about this? Well, there are guys who definitely have done, and these guys are now speaking about, guess what? Prompt engineering. Despite the fact that I am from IT, I'm not going to go deep into deep engineering explanation of what is prompt engineering. But prompt engineering on the high level, for me, is definitely all about question engineering. It's a tool that helps us to formulate our questions in a proper way in order to get the expected right result. Think about this. Prompt engineering is at some point a regulation for AI. It's a regulation for ourselves. Why? Because it directs us, it teaches us to ask right questions. But that's totally another story. And now, as we are clear with right and wrong questions, I think it is high time to speak about another level of AI. Another level of AI and another level of questioning. It's all about good or bad questions. In order to do so, I want to bring example on myself. So before coming to this stage and before this presentation and during our hard work with the organizing team, I start having these very destructive questions in myself. Am I enough for this presentation? Am I enough in terms of public speaking, in terms of my knowledge, and so on and so forth? And there where I was experiencing these destructive questions. And where did they bring me? To negative emotions. They bring me literally down. And what I did with those questions, me and the organizing team, we get rid of these questions. And let me bring you the example of the constructive question. And the constructive question will be definitely in the reflection session that we will be having after this presentation. Me and the organizing team, we will sit down and we will be definitely discussing what can be improved. And that's a great question because it creates only positive emotions. It gives me motivation and stimul to do more and to learn more, to ask more questions and to get knowledge. Future is all about questions. We want it or we don't want it, but we won't go far from these truths. Future is all about questions. And let me rephrase it in order to make it stronger for you. Future is a question-driven thing. So, on the final notes, I want to raise a toast for constructive questions in the future, constructive questions in the present that will drive our future in a positive way. I want to call you to question your questions and validate them against being constructive. I want to call you to share my strong belief that the question is a very strong and powerful tool. It is our talent, and it will bring us to an absolute success if used properly and in a constructive way. Future is bright. Quack to future, guys. Future is indeed all about innovations and great events. Future is here and now, and future will always remain an infinite question. Thank you.